Hi guys, my name is Kobus. Welcome to my channel for yet another exciting episode. Yes, I started with a bottle of Jack Daniels, and the reason for that is South Africa was in a very hectic lockdown in which we weren't allowed to use alcohol or buy alcohol at least. And that's why I thought it was fitting to start the video with a bottle of Jack Daniels and also just sort of building up the light. You might have seen that I started with a backlight and then added another light, which was this one, and as well as a reflector. So yes, this video is about lighting food photography, and I just want to share quick basic principles with you on how to light your food to take beautiful photographs, whether it's with a camera or even a cell phone. It stays the same, and you can use many things to light food. You can use a window with beautiful soft light, a flash speed light, a big strobe, or maybe a big continuous lighting LED light like this with a softbox. Depends on what you have, but it's more about the angle of light. And yes, it's not my niche, but let's talk light because I wouldn't say I'm a master in lighting, but I do know quite a bit about lighting. So let's get right into it. Okay, so let's get some food in front of me. Magic. Just a little video trick. Guys, I've got a nice tomato soup in front of me, a nice toasty. They go together so well. I'm not going to explain why now, but I do have another YouTube channel. It's called The Toller Kitchen with my wife. We make awesome recipes there. I'll link it at the top here and below. Go check it out. Subscribe, like, and make some nice food for yourselves. But getting back to this, one thing I have learned in the past working for clients is to get a food stylist. It is very important to get a good food stylist on board when you do proper work for a client. They will style it. They do an amazing job. It's almost like they style it, you just and then you just change the light as you want it, take the photo, and you can do the next one and next one, and it comes out crazy good. If it is something you want to do on your own, I would suggest that you guys really invest some time in how to style food beautifully. At this point, my wife helps me a bit, but when I do it for a client, I get a professional stylist in to do the food for me. So we're going to talk light, and I'm going to show you now how I would light this tomato soup. So let's get going. So just before we start with photographing this beautiful dish, I just want to again say you can do this with not only a big light like this, a LED light like this, a fancy tripod or gimbal like this. You can do it freehand. You can do it with window lighting. I'm going to also use a reflector. And for a reflector, you can use something like a pillow, a white sheet, anything that's in your house that would reflect light. So no need to have fancy equipment like this. The reason I use this now is just to show you even better how to light the subject. Okay, so my beautiful wife's gonna help me move stuff around. I'm just gonna do the initial because this light is quite heavy. Would you just turn that one off for me, the small one? There we go. And then, love, can I ask you to just move the light? I want the light coming in from this side of here. There we go, even more so, and more. Can you guys see how the light is changing and the quality is becoming so much better? So I'm gonna use my remote just to down the exposure because the light and the cream on the dish is becoming too much. I'm going to move my frame a bit. There we go. That's a better frame for me. Excellent. And maybe we should do this. Move the frame a bit like that. Okay, let's see if we can get this Ronin going. And now we need the focus to be better. Get the focus going. There we go. And now I'm going to switch off the... Can you switch on that light for me, please? There we go. Look what happens when I'm going to actually switch off the main light. Now you guys can see what that light does. So can you move it for me slightly that way? There we go. Look at that, guys. All right, that looks good to me. So guys, very important to expose for your main light. This main light, could be your window, it could be your small LED light, it doesn't really matter. It could be your speed light. You guys can use a speed light. Instead of shooting right at it with a speed light off camera flash, you can take the speed light, bring your dish close to a nice big white wall, and throw the speed light towards the wall so that it bounces back the light and give you nice big soft light. Because as soon as you bounce a flashlight or speed light against the wall, that wall is quite big and the light comes back big, and that will cause a nice soft light for your food. And then you can add an extra one like this, or you can just use a reflector if you only have 2 light sources. If you've got multiple speed lights, you can use multiple speed lights. And I would test each and every one of them separately so that you can get this one's power, this one's power, and then eventually put them all on together and see how it lights up your dish. So I'm gonna move around so that you guys can just see. I'll stay here. Just check how the light affects the dish. And maybe some of it you will like, some of it you might not like. I'm actually gonna now lower this light, but to lower it, I need to lower the exposure, and I'm gonna ask my wife again to help me out for this. Lovey, just drop the light for me, the height of the light. So she's dropping the height of the light now, and the exposure is becoming more because obviously the light is closer to the subject. So that's off and that's on, and I'm just gonna drop the exposure quite a bit, and you can bring it slightly closer for me. There we go. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a reflector. So guys, check what happens if you bring in a reflector. Sorry for the other camera. Look at that reflector just coming in. So you can see the reflector in the corner of the frame. I'm just gonna move it out of frame. So that's with a reflector, that's without, that's with the reflector, and that's without. So the lights in this video is a bit all over the place, and it's just because we moved around the lights to get the best possible photo for you guys, or best shot for you guys, so that you can see how we move it around and how it actually changes the picture. So you might only have natural light or a window to your availability, and you can't move a window obviously, but you can move the table or the actual dish to get the nice framing. So if you move the dish, you move your camera around, you can play with the light, then add a reflector. And like I said, a reflector can be an actual reflector, or it can be a pillow or a white sheet, just to add in some full light into the shadows. You can also use your speed light to bounce it off walls to get a nice and soft type of lighting. But play around with it, guys. It takes a bit getting used to, and there's many ways to light the food. So one tip I can give you guys with regards to lighting your food is to use a 45-degree angle from the back with regards to where your camera is. So the camera is in this direction, you will use a 45-degree angle, so from the back of the dish, to light it nicely, and then maybe a reflector from the front just to fill in those shadows. So start with that 45-degree angle. The Jack Daniels I've photographed right at the beginning, or shot for you guys right at the beginning, was right from the top, and then that LED from the side just as a rim light. So play around with it, guys. There's no right and wrong with regards to food photography. It's about your creativity and what you like, and also maybe what the client wants. You can also do like a rim shot where you sort of do a dark and moody type of shot of food, where you maybe just add light from the back and very underexposed, or maybe a harsh light where you don't use a big light like this, a small light like that LED, or just a flashlight where you kiss the dish and it's like a dark and mysterious shot of it. Play around, be creative. I think using a stylus is very important unless you're very creative with styling things. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video about food photography. It's quite basic, but I think it will help you to create beautiful food images. If you liked it, please subscribe down below, click on the like button and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of the video. Tell me if it helps you, and tell me what you want to learn next. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.